Hey everybody, welcome to a Tuesday morning Mike Talk. One of the things I love about this time of year is it's getting lighter earlier. That means that this old man has actually been out running this morning. That's why I don't have my glasses on. I don't want to get them all sweaty. I'm going to have to put them on here in just a moment so that I can read the scripture I want to share with you today. But God bless you guys. Happy Tuesday. Hope that you guys are looking forward to a great day in the Lord. He's going to do great things today. No matter what you think, no matter what your schedule looks like, God's at work, and He's at work in His people. And if you're one of His people, then He's at work in you. Today, here's my simple encouragement. We've heard the phrase, stop and smell the flowers. You got to stop and smell the roses. And I'm a flower lover. I always have been. My grandma she entered all kinds of fairs with flower displays and stuff, the Marion County Fair and the Rush County Fair, and then she did the Indiana State Fair as well. I don't know what the word is. Is she presenting flowers? I can't remember. She had flowers everywhere. She had flowers all around her house. She had a green room, kind of a Four Seasons room off of her house, and Grandpa had a acre, garden, and she had rows and rows of all kinds of flowers. So at an early age, I learned to love flowers and appreciate them. I still can't tell you what they are. I just like them. But Easter, one of the things at Easter traditionally has been the lily, because it's kind of a spring flower, and it comes up and it represents to us coming back to life and spring and all the things that are happening. So today I want to talk to you about lilies. Actually, there's part of the Song of Solomon, in Song of Solomon chapter 2, verse 1. If you've ever heard somebody say, that described Jesus as a lily of the valley. Remember, the Song of Solomon's was a song that was written kind of as a love song between a man and his wife, but it's also, theologians believe it's in the scripture to describe the love of God for His people. And so that's where we get Jesus eventually being described as the lily of the valley. Song of Solomon 2:1 says, "You are a rose of Sharon." Sharon is a location, is a city, the rose of Sharon and the lily of the valley. We're talking about the beauty of Jesus. Jesus also talks about lilies in His Sermon on the Mount. When we come to Matthew 6, and this is what I want to encourage us in today. If you are worried about tomorrow, if you're worried about how things are going to turn out, if you're worried about particular things in your life, whether it's an upcoming meeting or a bill to pay or a family get-together, all kinds of things make us anxious. And flowers are kind of a reminder for us not to be anxious. Let me read the passage. It's a famous one. He also talks about birds of the air, but this one is particularly about the flowers. Verse 28 of chapter 6 of Matthew. "Why are you anxious about clothing? Consider the lilies of the field, how they grow. They neither toil nor spin. And yet I tell you that even Solomon in all his glory was not arrayed like one of these. So if God so clothes the grass of the field, which today is alive and tomorrow is thrown into the oven, will He not much more clothe you, O you of little faith? So therefore don't be anxious." It's a very practical teaching. I don't know if Jesus was maybe standing in a field where there were flowers. If He were standing in a field of mustard seed or mustard plants, they have a very beautiful, beautiful yellow color. I've seen pictures in Galilee, just fields covered with yellow. It could have been lilies, for all we know. Jesus was just using the stuff around Him as an illustration to get people through life. And He looks at these peasants and He knows that they're very poor, and He knows that their clothes are very simple and tattered and torn, and that they sometimes worry about where they're going to get clothing. And He says, listen, look around you. And he maybe picked a flower. Maybe He just said, look at the fields. Look at the flowers of the fields. Consider them. Look how beautiful they are. And He says, even Solomon, in all of his glory and his best, richest king day, didn't look as good as these. And He goes, if that's how God clothes the flowers in the fields, then how much more is He going to clothe you? That's a good promise for us today. So stop and smell the roses, stop and smell the flowers. Take time today to notice the beauty that God's created and realize that the same God that created those things and cares for those things cares much more for us. So stop and smell the flowers today, and maybe catch a whiff of the beauty of a God who's described as the lily of the valley and loves us very much. Peace, guys. Love you. See you on Wednesday.